Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Big Questions, Small Steps. My name is Amanda and I'm so glad that you could join me today. Today we're going to take just a few moments to talk about the Hanukkah, also known as a Hanukkah menorah. We're going to talk about the blessings, when to light it, how to light it, and why we light it. Okay? Join me in just a moment. So we are going to talk about this, the Hanukkah, also known as a menorah. Now, this is particularly used by people of the Jewish tradition to celebrate Hanukkah. Now, why do they light candles? Great question. I'm glad you asked. They light candles to celebrate that they overcame adversity and they overcame assimilation. So there was this King Antiochus. Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Antiochus. He came in and he basically told the Jewish people, okay, what you're doing is fine, but I want you to eat this pig, and I want you to put these idols in your temple and worship them, and I want you to do this, and I want you to do this. And the things he was wanting them to do were against their practices and against their beliefs. The Jewish people don't eat pork. The Jewish people don't have idols in their temple, things like that. So it was very, very concerning for the Jewish people to say, okay, yes, we'll accept this. They didn't want to accept it. So they had people that banded together and they formed the Maccabees, which was an army. And they went and they fought against this king and they won. Now, when they celebrated winning over this king, they went to their temples, which had been just destroyed. They had been damaged to such a great deal. They went to go rekindle the menorahs, which were oil pots. They were oil candles at the time, not beeswax candles or anything like that. But they went to go rekindle the flames and all the oil was contaminated. The only oil that was left was enough oil to last for 1 day, but it was going to take at least 8 days to get a new container of oil. So they decided they would light the menorah and they would have faith in Hashem, which is their name for God, that he would provide for them. And if it went out, they knew that he would protect them and he would take care of them. So they lit the candle, and the miracle was that 1 day's worth of oil lasted for 8. So that's why they light the candles on Hanukkah. Now, it is important to note that Hanukkah is not necessarily something that everyone celebrates in the same way. They may light different candles. They may say different prayers, but all Jews typically have a menorah of some sort. Many families will have multiple menorahs, and that's quite all right. If your power ever goes out, they shine a great deal of light, and that's a beautiful thing. So this is a Hanukkah, also known as a menorah. As you look at it, there'll be 4 candles on one side and 4 candles on the other side, and one will be taller. Now, some menorahs will have this taller one on an end and all 8 next to it. That's absolutely fine. This taller one is called the shamash, or the helper candle. Okay, so what people do when they're lighting it is they will light this worker candle, and then they will use the flame from that worker candle to light the rest of them. Got it? Now, you only put in the number of candles for that day. So we, for example, have 4 on this side and 2 on this side. We are on day 6 of Hanukkah. So I have 6 candles in my Hanukkah. When you fill the Hanukkah, you fill it from right to left. And then when you light it, you kindle the candles from left to right. You always start with the newest day candle, okay? Now, when you light it, you should make sure that it's nightfall, and it should stay lit for about 30 minutes. When it is lit, it is customary to put the Hanukkahs in a window to share the light of Hashem with the world. Okay, now some candles will last longer than 30 minutes, and that's quite all right. The typical thing is you should light them for at least 30 minutes or until they burn all the way out. And especially on the first night, you should enjoy some time in the candlelight. So myself, I tend to, if I'm watching a movie or something, I will have the lights off in my house for a while, and I'll just be by candlelight for a little while. It's beautiful ambiance. I'm not gonna lie, I quite enjoy it. Now, another thing you should note is on the first night, when you light the first candle, there's an extra blessing. We're gonna talk about the blessings in just a little bit, but I wanted to make sure we understood the Hanukkah first. Why we have it, why we use it, why do we celebrate Hanukkah? Okay, so we're gonna start with the shamash, and then we're gonna light from left to right as we start with the sixth night, okay? Now, the blessings are both in English and in Hebrew. My Hebrew is not as strong as I want it to be, so currently I say the blessings in English. So tonight I'm gonna say the blessings in English. If you happen to know English, great. If you don't, feel free to just listen. If you know them in Hebrew, absolutely go ahead and talk over me. That's absolutely fine. You shouldn't ever feel like you are less than if you talk and you do blessings in English rather than Hebrew. Different people are in different places in their journey and in their understanding, and it is my belief that Hashem understands it all. So it doesn't matter if you are speaking in English or German or Hebrew, he understands it. I do like speaking in Hebrew when possible because I feel like it joins me with the greater Jewish community. But like I said, I am still new to learning Hebrew, and my Hebrew is by no means good. And because Hanukkah is only celebrated once a year, I don't have enough practice with the blessings yet. So I would stumble horribly through them. So we're just gonna do them in English tonight, okay? So we're gonna get started. We start by lighting the shamash. And sometimes the candles light right away, and sometimes they take a little bit to get there. So we'll just make sure that that's lit. Perfect. And then, as we have that first candle lit, we're gonna hold it up and we're gonna say the blessing, okay? So the first blessing is, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the Hanukkah lights. Okay, and then the next blessing you say as you light the candles. So let's start with the blessing. And it says, blessed are you, Adonai, our God. Again, it takes a little while to get there. There you go. Sovereign of all, who performs wondrous deeds for our ancestors in days of old. At this season. Oops, that one didn't light. Let's give it a little more attention. Oh, come on. There we go. And then after you have all the candles lit, what you will do is put the Hanukkah or the menorah in a window so that everyone can see the light of Hashem. And Frequently, people will sing songs or they will just admire the light from the Hanukkah. So there you go. It is the 6th night of Hanukkah. So we would say Chag Hanukkah Shemeach. Okay? Now, I did mention that there was a blessing, an extra blessing for the first night. So when you just have one candle, there is an extra blessing. And on that night, you would say, "Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who has kept us alive, sustained us, and brought us to this season." So, aren't the candles just beautiful? I love them, and it means a great deal to enjoy the simplicity and the beauty and the persistence of candles during Hanukkah. Something I look forward to. So, if you celebrate Hanukkah, I truly wish you a Chag Hanukkah Sameach. And if you don't celebrate Hanukkah, I wish you a happy day. And may the light of Hashem be with you in your life today and always. Until next time, the more you know, the more we grow. Bye-bye.